If you are living in the United States right now, or you are planning to move there soon, there is something you need to understand very quickly. Because if you don't, you might find yourself earning in dollars, but still living like you are broke. And the most dangerous part is this. It does not happen suddenly. It happens slowly, quietly, step by step, until one day you look at your life and ask yourself, how am I working this hard and still struggling? Now, listen carefully. This is not about laziness. This is not about not trying hard enough. In fact, most people in the United States are working harder than ever before. Early mornings, long hours, multiple responsibilities, constant pressure. People are putting in effort, real effort. But somehow, the results are not matching the effort. So what is really going on? Why are people earning in one of the strongest currencies in the world, yet still feeling financially trapped? The truth is simple, but uncomfortable. The problem is not just your income. The problem is the system you are operating in, and the way it silently drains you without you even realizing it. Let's break it down. You wake up every day. You prepare for work. You rush out. You deal with traffic, deadlines, expectations, pressure from different directions. You give your time, your energy, your focus. You do what you are supposed to do. And at the end of the day, you come back home tired. Not just physically tired, but mentally and emotionally drained. Then the cycle repeats, day after day, week after week, month after month. Now here is where it becomes dangerous. At the end of the month, you receive your paycheck. For a moment, there is relief. A short moment where you feel like things are okay. But that feeling does not last long, because almost immediately, that money starts disappearing. Not because you are careless. Not because you are irresponsible, but because your expenses are already waiting for it. Let's start with one of the biggest ones, rent. In many parts of the United States, rent alone can take a large portion of your income, sometimes 30%, sometimes 50%, sometimes even more depending on the city. Before you even think about saving, before you even think about investing, a large part of your money is already gone. Then come the other expenses: electricity, internet, transportation, food, insurance, subscriptions, unexpected costs. None of these are optional. You need them to survive. You need them to function. You need them to keep moving. And when you put everything together, you begin to notice something very important. You are not really earning money. You are passing money through your hands. Now let's go deeper, because this is where many people fall into a trap without even realizing it. When expenses become too much, people look for ways to cope. They look for ways to balance things out. And that is where credit comes in. Credit cards, loans, buy now, pay later systems. At first, it feels like a solution. It feels like support. It feels like help. It gives you breathing space. It allows you to handle things temporarily. But in reality, it is the beginning of a cycle. Because now you are not just working to survive. You are working to pay back what you have already spent. And slowly, your income is no longer yours. It is already assigned. Assigned to bills. Assigned to debt. Assigned to payments that never seem to end. Now here is the part nobody talks about. From the outside, everything still looks fine. You are dressed well. You show up every day. You smile. You post pictures. You look like you are doing okay. But inside, there is pressure. There is stress. There is uncertainty. You are constantly thinking, what if something unexpected happens? What if I lose my job? What if I can't keep up with these bills? That quiet fear begins to control your decisions. It limits your thinking. It reduces your confidence. It keeps you in a survival mindset. And when you are in survival mode, you stop thinking about growth. You stop thinking about building wealth. You stop thinking about expansion. All you are thinking about is, how do I survive this month? Now let me ask you something very important. Is this really the life you imagined? Is this what you thought earning in dollars would feel like? Because many people believe that once they get to the United States, everything becomes easier. That more money automatically means a better life. But the reality is very different. If you do not understand how the system works, You can earn more money and still struggle more. Because higher income without control does not solve the problem. It only delays it. And that is why you see people earning thousands of dollars every month. Yet they are still living paycheck to paycheck. Now think about that carefully. It means the issue is not just about how much money is coming in. It is about what is happening to that money. It is about the structure surrounding that money. Because if you are in a system that constantly takes from you without giving you a way to grow, then no matter how hard you work, you will keep running without moving forward. You will stay busy but not productive, active but not progressing. And over time, that becomes frustrating. You start questioning yourself. You start wondering if you are doing something wrong. You start feeling like maybe you are not good enough, or maybe you need to work harder. But the truth is, it is not just about working harder. It is about understanding the environment you are in. Because if you are playing a game without knowing the rules, you will always struggle to win. So the real question is not, how do I work harder? The real question is, how do I survive in this system without going broke? Because survival is not just about income. It is about awareness. It is about understanding. It is about strategy. And if you do not develop that awareness early, you will keep repeating the same cycle, thinking that one day something will change. But nothing changes until you change the way you see the system. And that is where everything begins. Now let's go deeper. Because what most people don't realize is this. The problem is not just financial. It is psychological. It is emotional. And over time, it becomes dangerous. Because when money becomes unstable, your mind becomes unstable. You start worrying more. You start thinking less clearly. You start reacting instead of planning. And slowly, without even noticing it, you move from living to surviving. Now think about this carefully. When your money is always under pressure, you are constantly calculating. Can I afford this? Should I spend this? What if something happens tomorrow? That kind of thinking may look normal, but it is not. It is a sign of financial stress. And financial stress does something very powerful. It reduces your ability to grow. Because when your brain is focused on survival, it cannot focus on expansion. This is why many people stay in the same position for years. Not because they don't want to grow, but because they are too mentally drained to think differently. Now here is something even deeper. This system trains you to accept it as normal. You see everyone around you, working, paying bills, complaining, repeating the same cycle. And you start to believe, this is just how life is. But the truth is, this is not how life is supposed to be. This is how life becomes. When there is no strategy. Now here is where things start to change. Because there are people in the same United States, in the same economy, facing the same conditions. But they are not struggling. So what are they doing differently? Let's break it down. First, the known strategies. These are things people hear about, but most people ignore. Number 1, they control their lifestyle. Successful people do not rush to upgrade their life the moment they earn more. They understand something most people don't. Lifestyle can trap you faster than poverty. So instead of increasing expenses, they increase control. Number 2, they build multiple streams of income. They don't depend on one paycheck, because one paycheck means one point of failure. If anything happens to that job, everything collapses. So they create alternatives. Side income, small business, opportunity systems, something that brings money outside their job. Number 3, they delay gratification. They don't spend to impress people. They don't chase validation. They understand that short-term pleasure can destroy long-term stability. So they make decisions based on future results, not present emotions. Now those are the known strategies. But let's go deeper, because this is where the real difference is. The hidden strategies. The things most people don't talk about. Number 1, they understand leverage. This is very important. Most people are trading time for money. 1 hour equals 1 payment. If they stop working, money stops. But successful people think differently. They build systems that can produce results, even when they are not physically present. That is leverage. Number 2, they control the information they consume. Because what you hear shapes how you think, and how you think shapes how you act. Most people are surrounded by noise, complaints, negativity, fear, limitation. But successful people are intentional. They feed their mind with financial education, growth mindset, opportunity awareness, because they know you cannot grow beyond your thinking. Number 3, they position themselves in the right environment. And this is one of the most powerful factors, because your environment determines your expectations. If everyone around you is struggling, you will see struggle as normal. If everyone around you is surviving, you will see survival as success. But when you place yourself around people who are building, people who are growing, people who are thinking differently, your standards begin to change. Your vision expands. Your actions improve. Now here is the truth most people avoid. The system is not designed to make you free. It is designed to keep you functional. It keeps you busy. It keeps you active. But it does not guarantee growth. So if you don't step out of that pattern intentionally, you will remain inside it unconsciously, working harder, but not moving forward, earning more, but not keeping more, trying more, but not progressing. And over time, that becomes your reality, not because you chose it, but because you never questioned it. So now the question becomes, if the system is not designed for your freedom, then what do you do? Do you continue like everyone else? Or do you begin to think differently? Because the moment you start asking better questions is the moment your situation starts changing. And that is where the shift begins. Now, let's talk about the solution. Because understanding the problem is not enough. If all you do is recognize the struggle, if all you do is agree that things are difficult, if all you do is complain about the system, but you don't change your approach, nothing changes. And this is where most people get stuck. They become aware, but they remain the same. They know something is wrong, but they don't know what to do next. Or worse, they know what to do, but they don't take action. So let's make it clear. If you want to survive in the United States without going broke, you need to do things differently. Not slightly differently, not a little adjustment here and there, but completely differently. Because the system you are in rewards a different kind of thinking. Step 1. You must change the way you think about money. This is where everything begins. Most people think money is something you earn. They think, I just need a better job. I just need a higher salary. I just need more hours. But successful people understand something deeper. Money is something you build. There is a big difference. If all you do is earn, you will always be chasing. You will always be waiting for the next paycheck. You will always be reacting. But when you build, you start creating. You start controlling. You start expanding. So the goal is not just to increase your income. The goal is to create a system that can generate income. Because systems create stability. Systems create growth. Systems create freedom. Step 2. You must control your expenses before you chase more money. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They focus on earning more, but they ignore where their money is going. And that is why even when their income increases, their situation does not improve. Because the leaks are still there. If your lifestyle expands faster than your income, you will always feel broke. So before you think about more income, you must understand your current flow. Where is your money going? What is necessary? What is emotional spending? What is waste? Because if you don't control your expenses, more money will not save you. It will only give you a bigger version of the same problem. More income without control is just more pressure in disguise. Step 3. You need an additional income system. This is no longer optional. In today's world, depending on one source of income is risky. Too risky. Because anything can happen. Job loss, reduced hours, economic changes, unexpected expenses. And when that happens, if you don't have something else, you are exposed. You are vulnerable. You are forced into survival mode again. This is why successful people build something on the side. Not because they are greedy, but because they understand security. They understand leverage. They understand growth. They build something that grows gradually, something that can expand over time, something that is not limited to their physical effort. Not just quick money, but structured income, income that can grow, income that can scale, income that can support them even when life changes. Step 4. You must develop financial intelligence. Because money is not just about earning. It is about understanding. Understanding how it works. Understanding how it flows. Understanding how it grows. Understanding how it disappears. Because if you don't understand money, you will always lose it. No matter how much you earn, you will keep making the same mistakes, repeating the same cycles, facing the same struggles. Financial intelligence gives you awareness, and awareness gives you control. Now let's go deeper, because knowledge alone is not enough. You need to see real examples, real people, because many people think success is special. They think it is for a certain type of person. They think you need connections, background, luck. But the truth is, most successful people started from normal situations. Some started from worse conditions. Some had nothing, no connections, no special advantages, no shortcuts. But they had something else. They were willing to learn. They were willing to change. They were willing to act. They were willing to do what others avoided. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They didn't wait until everything made sense. They didn't wait until they felt ready. They started with what they had. And as they moved, things became clearer. Because clarity does not come before action. Clarity comes during action. They position themselves differently. They exposed themselves to new information. They connected with the right environment. They stopped thinking like everyone else. They stopped following the normal pattern. And that is what changed everything. Now here is the most important part. You have to decide. Because information alone does not change your life. Understanding alone does not change your life. Watching videos alone does not change your life. Decision does. Action does. You can watch this video, understand everything, agree with everything, feel motivated, and still go back to the same routine. Or you can decide that something needs to change, that you are no longer comfortable with just surviving, that you are tired of repeating the same cycle, that you want more control, more growth, more stability, more direction. And once you make that decision, everything begins to shift. Because your actions will follow your decision, and your results will follow your actions. Now listen carefully. If you are serious about changing your financial situation, not just thinking about it, not just wishing, not just hoping, but actually doing something about it, then this is your moment. This is not the time to delay. This is not the time to doubt. This is not the time to go back to old patterns. Don't just watch and move on. Don't just say this makes sense and forget about it. Take action. Click the link in the description. Get started and begin your journey step by step. Because the difference between people who change their life and people who remain the same is action, consistent action, intentional action, focused action. And if you want more videos like this, videos that open your mind, videos that challenge your thinking, videos that guide you towards real financial growth, hit the subscribe button if you want to keep learning how to build income, take control of your future, and stop living in survival mode. Because what you are learning here can change your direction completely. Now let's close this properly. This is Healthy Billionaire Academy, where thinking differently creates wealth, discipline builds power, and your future is designed, not left to chance. Because here, we don't just chase success. We build the mindset that attracts it.